Majesty General Michel Aoun, President of the Republic of Lebanon, sponsor of the conference. Excellency Mrs. Claudine Aoun, President of the Arab Women Organization Supreme Council. Excellencies, heads of participating Arab delegations, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me at the outset convey sincere regards to His Majesty General Michel Aoun, President of the Republic of Lebanon, for his gracious sponsorship of the 8th Conference of the Arab Women Organization. This is a physical evidence of his personal interest in supporting our efforts to serve the women's issues in the Arab world. I also would like to extend sincere thanks to Her Excellency Mrs. Claudine Aoun, President of the Arab Women Supreme Council, who accompanied the Women organization in its journey over the 2 previous years with courage and wisdom. My thanks also go to the heads and members of the Arab delegations participating in the 8th conference, as well as the special audience. Dear respectable audience, Lebanon chose the theme of the conference, Arab Women and Cultural Challenges, which is totally normal, as the Lebanese society is touching upon the culture-related matters, especially those related to cultural diversity, based on freedom and coexistence. Women's activism in Lebanon is rich, diversified, and multifaceted. More than 100 years ago, the consideration of women's issues in the Arab world witnessed a quality awakening. Since then, there were successive struggles on many fronts. We are entitled now to wonder what changed since then. Why are we addressing this cultural issue again today? In recent years, the United Nations launched the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, considering that women's issues are forever and ever overlapping with the other issues of concern to the entire humanity: economic growth, poverty eradication, achieving justice, good governance, seeking the adoption of integrity, applying the rule of law, etc. Among this wide range, women's issues emerge as an integral part of the humanity issues. This strategic vision would help get through 3 problematics. First problematic pertains to women individuals' relationship with women, that is, the relationship between I and we, with the accompanying controversial repulsion, distinction, solidarity, and identity. A fair question derives from this problematic. Are there women's issues, or several issues, or several women? Second problematic pertains to the man's relation with the women's issues. It is common that most men withdraw from any discussion or activity related to women, given that it does not concern them, and that it is a pure women's issue. Furthermore, some men do not realize that they take some responsibility for the women's condition and that they can contribute to stop injustice and discrimination against them. In return, women consider the issue from the outside as being the full responsibility of men. Many women do not realize their emotional and cultural impact on their surrounding family, husband, children, and immediate environment. Women are partners in the production and the dissemination of cultural values, where both male and female children are raised. Third problematic concerns institutionalization of the women's national action. Since 1995, special national institutions were created to address women's issues: committees, councils, higher commissions, ministries, etc. But it was eventually proved that women's issues are cross-sectoral and cross-disciplinary. The 2030 Agenda was developed, moving the discussion to an open public platform, engaging everyone. Hence, such problematics were over. We know of the multiple critics to the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as it handled the superstructures in societies without stopping at the type of economic production that is able to achieve such sustainable development. Yet this agenda was a quality shift in the consideration of societal and humane or even global issues as being overlapping, and called for approaching every issue through an integrated and inclusive vision. The approach actually witnessed quality developments and achievements were made in most areas: pedagogy, legislation, economic engagement, political engagement, etc. However, there was a common factor to all these fronts that used to and still delays any progress. The girls' admission rates to schools and universities increased, Yet its positive outcomes are not guaranteed on the women's position and role. As to the increase of women's integration rate in productive economic action, it was not adequate to ensure sustainably safety and respect for women. Concerning the political engagement by means of quotas, it is still of concern to women. What would happen if the quota was cancelled? Would their participation remain unchanged or would it decline? The answer is often well known. As to the legislation's integrity and development, even though it is believed to be essential, it is also inadequate. We return to the cultural issue in all areas, as we notice the ferocious resistance to all new inputs in the name of gender stereotypes, as if everyone opens his eyes at birth in a pool of water where he has to swim to avoid drowning, and he has to swim as fast as possible to reach a safe shore. This conference will address the cultural issues in all its aspects. 24 researches prepared by the most important women and men researchers in the Arab countries will be presented. Hopefully, these researches will provide us with a new guiding light. The establishment of the Arab Women Organization in 2003 was a historic achievement in the memory of the Joint Arab Cooperation. The organization was born as a result of a generous and visionary initiative of exceptional ladies in leading positions in their countries. The organization took its way accompanied by the other specialized organizations emanating from the League of Arab States. The Arab Women Organization is underpinned by 18 years of experience and activities, thanks to the tenacity of the people concerned and the professionalism of those in charge and cooperating with it, government officials, men and women experts from the Arab countries and the whole world. Despite all challenges, the Arab states have now a specialized organization in women's issues, an Arab platform on the national and international map that is active and professional, seeking to serve the Arab member states with all due respect to the sovereignty of all states, their priorities and options. It will always serve as a lighthouse in the skies of the Arab cooperation under the League of Arab States. I would like to reiterate my thanks to His Majesty General Michel Aoun, President of the Republic of Lebanon, sponsor of the Arab Women Organization's 8th conference. I would like also to sincerely thank the UN Women for their permanent support to the organization and their strategic partnership. Lastly, as this conference is held in exceptional and difficult circumstances linked to the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, and accordingly the sessions are online and we apologize for that. But this conference comes at a time where the host country is going through a multifaceted, shocking crisis. However, we believe in the resilience of the Lebanese people and their capacity to overcome any distress. May the Lord protect the Lebanese people and inspire its leaders, good governance and serious pursuit of salvation. Thank you all once again and wishing you a successful conference.